All right, that Kraven the Hunter trailer came out. Now, let's talk about it. So, I don't want to get off the bat. The trailer itself, good trailer. That was like that's far we're gonna go. As far as what we seen, I would like for what was seen in the video itself. Obviously, I don't have it right here or whatever. Presumably, you've seen it by now if you come here to check it out. Now, with that being said, a lot of things I like about it, and what it's going to show, I guess, before the movie coming up. First of all, I think the action, if this the action that we're going to get, it's pretty much top notch of what is going to get me to come and watch it. I was like, from the the brutal nature of it, the goriness of it. I think like it has everything that's like okay, cool. They ain't playing around. They I was like, we're not going. It's not going to be no radio or nothing like that. But it's coming out, and it really showed like, hey, we ain't gonna shy away from anything that's going to be bloody or the craziness, like how he did with the bear trap to the dude's face. None of that type of stuff. Now, some of the stuff I'm just like a little bit like, man, uh, was sort of his little bit of GQ Playboy looking with the whole fur coat and stuff like that. Which the fur, not the fur coat, but you get what I'm saying. The fur, I don't think it's a bad thing. What I thought they should have did was almost like an Aquaman, where that's something where it's like you're gonna get that really at the like maybe it had been at the end of the trailer and sort of like how in the movie it's later on to where it's like we know it's coming but you just have it be something towards the end just because how they sort of had it in the especially in the trailer like he'd over here just like leaning up against it and just sort of like looking at himself and I was just like damn you might as well just like you know put some butt on you or something like that because you really taking yourself in this mirror. I was like that's a little extra. Also too that I was like he's sort of being like against poachers and animal rights type of person that I'm like should he really have that on? You know they could have let him be with that little like I don't want to say leather because if he's also being against all these people using animals in a type of way, but they had him in his regular getup. That was a fine look. It was cool. Still show off the muscles and whatnot. You take the shirt off at some point. So guess what? We gonna get shirtless. We gonna see your abs anyway. We don't necessarily need the little line mane that you about to do. But I do sort of like I thought it was gonna be more of like him versus his father, but it looked like his brother's gonna be into it. And I'm down with that of like what is his brother gonna be mad at again? Because I was like, the dad son dynamic, hey, it's as old as time, you doing something your dad don't approve, y'all gotta do that type of thing. But your brother being involved in it where your brother's over here like, yo, you messing up my money, you messing up the family business that I'm trying to do, like what he gonna try to pull out. I was like, should I will say that I do think that the stuff they tried to do with Morbius, I think they do a better job here. And by that, I'm just like the whole animal stuff, uh, like how he was attacking the stairwell, he was coming at them all for I was like it's a lot better than what they did with Morbius, where he was trying to do like a little bit of the bat thing, but he over here being like the creature of the night, kind of thing. I was like, I felt like they did a little bit better. I was like they had him more like fierce without it just being too silly and goofy. I was like, where with Morbius, don't get me wrong, some of the stuff that was cool, Morbius was like sort of like the little flight thing, and kind of like just him like attacking, like being like vampire spooky. But I was like, but he never gave off of like oh no, he's gonna mess somebody up kind of thing as I thought they were doing here. And then we got Rhino, and I was like, I don't know how they necessarily could have did. I mean, they could have did better here. I was like, just because I was like, I know what they're doing with him, with Kraven is that it seemed like he got something in his blood that gives him all the power, but he doesn't. His physical appearance does not change, not at all. Whereas Rhino, his whole thing looked like he changed, and I can't figure out if he's trying to be the Thing or is he just a thing. I don't like. It's really. It looks like it's. You could tell it's like now the suit. It's CGI, but it doesn't look that great. It really just looked. It looked like some kid paper mache, where you just throw clumps of just gray on top of each other, and then just sort of make a body out of it. I was like maybe they did a little practical. I don't know, but it's not great. I felt like, especially with somebody like the Rhino, and he's dealing with poachers, that he could have basically fought a dude that had a Rhino suit, because he's dealing with people who are out here trying to take out these animals, and they already got machines to sort of do some of these things, where it's like taking the tusks from elephants or the horn off rhino, all these other things. They already got stuff like that. And in the world that we're living in, why wouldn't there be an exosuit? It don't have to be like Spider-Man 2 Rhino. It didn't have to be like that. I was like, you could have even had him like in the Spider-Man game, like the first one, where Tombstone? Nah, not Tombstone. Yeah, Tombstone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Tombstone. Dang it, I might be messing up. But I was like, even though he was tough as all get out, he still had an exosuit. He still had a suit. So it was like, why couldn't you just have like the dude sort of like, he had like the power of a rhino, where it's like maybe he was like super strong, speed and all that other stuff. Maybe he had hard skin, but he still also had an exosuit that was like a rhino, to where it's like, dang, I got to bust through the suit and I got to bust through him. That's crazy. I'm just saying, take that out of context as you will. But I was like, they could have did something like that, or just have him be a regular old poacher, and that's what he does. It's like, oh, this guy's been going through and taking out animals with ease. Why? How he been doing it? Oh, because he got this rhino exosuit, or something like that. I was like, hell, you could have made his ass a transformer as a rhino. I was like, and anything else. I was like, just the way that looked, I'm not gonna lie, it looked like the original Sonic that we was about to get. It's kind of on that edge. But I was like, for everything else, I think, and it come down December, I think it's actually on the realm of being good for Sony than it is for. Cause I was like, look, I was like, I like Venom. I know a lot of people don't, but I also take Venom for what it is. I was like, I don't compare it to the same way of being like, it needs to be this masterpiece, it needs to be this Marvel thing, blah blah blah. But I was like, Venom did really good. Obviously, we at movie number 3. It's doing something right. So you got that over here. I guess we can include the Spider-Man over here, because I was like, all these are in association with Marvel. They're not full-on Marvel properties. Disney property, they're Sony's. So, Spider-Man, Venom over here. Morbius, Madam Web over here. Now, I still haven't seen Madam Web. I'm going to at some point, just because I'm somebody that I like to watch movies no matter, even if they bad, because I got to see, is it really that bad? But I did see Morbius. And I'm somebody that I'm like, hey, I didn't waste my day. I didn't waste my time watching this movie. It's an alright movie. That's how my standards sometimes are. And I got to the end of Morbius and I was like, man, I could have just deal with 45 minutes of this movie if they really wanted to be honest. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be leaning more over to the good side of everything. I'm like, look, there's nothing going on really in December right now that's going to be, I think, taken out of the way. It's going to get a little enough intrigue. Cause I was like, don't get me wrong, the last Sony movies, good thing Morbius was so far back that I was like, even though you bring up Morbius, I think Morbius became such a meme and stuff like that it almost took the stench. I was like the stench away of it. Madam Web, look, as much as y'all want to give flack about Morbius, it was something to talk about. There ain't been nothing I heard about Madam Web, and I think that's where it's almost like wrestling. I was like, you want to be cheered, you want to be booed, you want to. I was like, you want to get a reaction in some type of way. What's the worst? Nothing. And that's what Madam Web was, nothing. And I was like, Kraven will do something. Kraven was going. I was like, with this trailer alone, I think you will get some people in it being like, oh, it might be gory and action enough that. Cause I was like, look, the story. I was like, we're gonna assume that a lot of people don't really. I was like, look, if you already are watching these movies and stuff like that, whether you're nerd into it, really like Marvel stuff. I was like, whether you know the lore or you just know a little bit of it, maybe you watch the Spider-Man animated series or whatever like that, you're still probably gonna go see this. So you're already getting those people. Then so now you got to worry about like the cast or whatever. And I was like, this is enough to get like cast people in it. Now we're at Christmas time, money, and all that other stuff made it a little bit different. But I was like, I think it would be just enough to be able to get a good enough amount of people in. Not saying they're gonna crash out and be like great, like come out with that money on those end, but I don't think it's gonna be as bad as those movies either. So him being like, saving the animals and stuff like that, I think he will. And I don't think it's gonna really do anything to the story, because I think the story is really going at his pops and probably his brother, and I think that's going to overshadow whatever it is about the animals, stuff like that. Cause I was like, look, to be honest, I could really totally see like he does all this great stuff at the very beginning, and then towards the end, he sort of turns into the hunter. Where it's like, oh, he's a good guy doing for good causes, and being like, oh, nah, he's still out here murking some animals now. Oh, okay, that's how it will be. That's how I can see it. But anyway, I was like, that's just my ideas from the trailer and from a little bit of the story. We'll see how everything goes going in. But until then, peace. I'm out.